I do have some remarks that I would like to make before we call the first panel to testify. And I want to start by thanking everyone for coming. Nothing is more important than our young people, and by being here today, you are signaling a commitment to our youth, especially those that are under DHS supervision, a signal that they matter. These youth, whether in temporary foster care, seeking permanent family placement, or somewhere in between, deserve the very best in city services. My question raised from the scorecard is that what we are providing? In September of 2017, DHS offered a draft report titled Evaluation of the Improving Outcomes for Children, Transformation in the Child Welfare System in Philadelphia. This report was presented to members and staff of City Council in the caucus room on September 14th, and I remember walking out of the meeting and talking with several of my colleagues regarding what was presented and feeling that the report was somewhat empty, void of the substantial information that would make it worthy of the members' valuable time. As the host of this briefing, I must admit that I was disappointed that there wasn't more offered, and I know that many of them were as well. Nonetheless, none of us doubted then or now the sincerity of the leadership or the frontline workers at DHS. This is a difficult job, to be clear. It is also not a high-paying job in dollars, but among those who do this work and who are mission-driven, it is high-paying in personal reward and inner peace. And after all, you can't put a price on stabilizing and improving a child's life. I want to say that I have a lot of concern about what has been presented in the scorecard, and we'll go into that throughout the hearing. There are a number of things that just appear to be completely problematic, inappropriate, troubling. As we read the report, as we look at the scorecard, I find that the Liberty Bell rating system was not something that should have been appropriate for something so serious, when there was a letter scoring grade in the back of this report. And so I have a lot of questions. Why was that letter scoring grade not presented in the very front? Why was this not provided? It appears as if it was sort of added to the back as a way of disguising the information. And I don't want to think that. I don't want to believe that. So please help me to understand how I could have this impression. Please help all of us to understand why it appears that 80% of the CUAs, the community umbrella agencies, according to your report, have at least one F, that 20% have 6 Ds, 30% have 5, and 20% have 4. I counted 39 Ds among 10 organizations in 9 categories. Wordsworth, where there was a sexual assault and death occurring in recent years, received a B in supervision. I just don't understand how that could be. If the grades that were given here in this report, in this scorecard, were given to a student in school, that student would be failing. They wouldn't be passing. And so when we went back and calculated all of the grades, the average should have been a 3.0, which would have represented a competency rating according to the scorecard. When you looked at all of the categories, and the number of bells that were possible to receive, again, the letter grade on an average should have been a C, which represents competency. The actual average among the 10 CUA organizations was a 2.4, which is unsatisfactory by DHS's own words. So I look forward to hearing an explanation as to how this could be, how we can maintain a system that we ourselves have graded as unsatisfactory, and particularly when we're looking at a system that is serving those who are most in need, most vulnerable, and who certainly need our time and attention. And so with that being said, I want to recognize the presence of Councilman Derek Green, who has joined us, and ask the clerk to call the first panel to testify.